Hi, I'm Kane, and I've always been a storyteller. Whether it be through my passion as a singer-songwriter or working as a journalist, I've always been drawn to crazy stories and telling them to my friends. But there are some stories that haven't been told quite enough. So grab a seat, a drink, and hunker down as we delve into the realms of those forgotten stories. Welcome to Breaking Bard. Stories untold, tales that we've spun, quite a few missing, where have they gone? Come fill your mind with ghosts of the past, now that we're breaking bard. 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 Hello and welcome to Breaking Bard episode 6. Today we have a very special episode because we have the pleasure of welcoming a new guest, an amazing friend of mine, former colleague and all-round superstar. It's Miss Kemi Rogers. Hello, Kemi. How are you?
Hello. That was quite the introduction. I live for that.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, by the way.
Thank you for coming.
Fan of the podcast, Dave. I was going to swear then.
No, you can
on
this podcast.
I was going to say Dave fucking one.
Dave
so
fucking
straight
one.
off the bat, 30 seconds
Straight
in,
off the
bish,
bat.
bash, bosh. But from day one, I've been such a fan of the podcast. So thanks for having me on. I'm so excited to learn more. I'm a bit of like a history nerd as well. Anything blast from the past, I'm like, facts, feed them to me.
Well, you have found your absolute tribe.
Oh, I really have.
Welcome to the Breaking Bard tribe. I think we welcome you with open arms and hearts.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We've got a cheeky bit of cider today. Is that your preferred beverage?
It reminds me of summer. I only drink it festival season in summer. So actually having this on a kind of cold, kind of maybe springtime night, it's making me feel like excited for summer already, which, yeah, you'll put me in a very good mood.
I love that. That's what we want. So, Kemi, could you tell our listeners... First of all, let me explain. No, I have not done away with Maeve.
She's locked in a cupboard somewhere.
Literally, where the hell is she? No, she has gone to sunnier parts.
Yeah, nice.
She's gone to France and she is
Luscious.
in her lovely house that she bought with
Very
her partner.
jealous, yes.
And we miss her dearly. But it's Breaking Bard with Kane and friends, so we've got to diversify a little bit.
There we go. You do have more than one friend, so
It's
that's
true.
kind of nice.
I do,
Yeah.
famously.
Maybe it's great. I've got big shoes to fill today, but hopefully I'll do her justice.
I'm sure you will. She will appreciate that comment. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself or how we met, for example?
Yeah, we met doing a video editing job for a news company a few years ago.
Yep.
And you were, doing your music on the side and I was going to do my presenting on the side. And look at us, how many years later.
I love it.
Touring and doing gigs and recording albums. That's you, not me, by the way.
And then having a party on boats.
And then partying on boats, yes. So I present on Capital and Capital Extra,
Amazing.
doing some little kind of like social media TV bits as well. So kind of at the start of my presenting journey. So it's lovely going on this journey with you and having you by my side.
And what a journey it is.
What a journey.
It's so, I'm so proud of you. I've said it many times.
Thank you.
For the listeners, were actually the first radio I was ever on with my music back in
Years ago.
2018 January.
In this little kind of like community radio station in North London, which is great for anyone obviously wanting to get into radio. But
Definitely.
You came in, you were my first ever guest.
That was
so
great.
It goes both ways.
It
First
really
ever
does.
radio interview, and it's an incredible interview. You're a great chatter.
As are you, which I guess
Thank
is
you.
how we're trying to
Perfect why
make
we're
money.
here today, yeah.
Trying to make money out of our voices.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Well, today I have a very special story for you. And if you would like, I'll just absolutely get into it. So a couple of months ago, another journalist and dear friend of mine, Fayruz Rajpar, put me onto this incredible story that I have been dying to get my teeth into. And so, Kemi, today I'm going to be telling you the incredible story of Barbara Blake Hannah, Britain's first black TV reporter.
What?
Yeah, girl.
How did I not? I'm kind of ashamed I didn't even know that name.
Exactly. This is the point
And
of the podcast.
this is why we do it, and this is why we do it,
people. So this one, I did it yesterday for once. I love how I'm always obsessed with telling on the podcast, like, I did it today or when I did it. Just
very time sensitive.
It is. But yesterday, I did it. It took me about 6 hours to go through everything. It was what a life she has. So Now, trigger warning, obviously the story does unfortunately contain themes of racism because we live in that kind of shit world.
Yeah, unfortunately. It'd be nice if it was like, and no racism was involved.
Literally.
She just like climbed to the top
time.
and yeah.
But unfortunately, that is not why she wouldn't be on the podcast otherwise.
Yeah, unfortunately so.
So let's go right into it.
I'm ready.
I'm taking you to Kingston, Jamaica.
Oh.
So Barbara Makeda Blake Hannah was born on the 5th of June 1941 in Jamaica and was the daughter of Yvonne Blake, a magazine editor and later founder of the Press Association of Jamaica. Barbara's parents' marriage ended when she was just 4 and her father brought her and her sister up. Barbara grew up in a quite affluent part of the Jamaican capital of Kingston. In an article she wrote detailing her early life called My Father Who Fathered Me, published in 1988, she notes what a privileged upbringing she had, saying, quote, "We led such a sheltered life that I was unaware that there were children who did not have 3 meals a day, who did not go to school. I took for granted the pretty dresses, shoes, socks, and matching hair ribbons that we bought on wonderful excursions to the shops on King Street." So, you know, her father's career meant she grew up as pretty comfortable.
The nice side of town.
The nice side of town. But a sensational divorce and legal battle for his daughters, as well as her father's flamboyant fashion sense and lifestyle, landed the family firmly in the Jamaican public eye. So she grew up being known as the daughters of Yvonne Blake, the Blake daughters. From a young age, Barbara was also plunged into the world of writing and journalism. Her and her sister's house chores would consist in helping her father mail copies of his magazine Spotlight to subscribers.
Amazing.
Which she was like our least preferred chore to do, but at the end we'd get treated with a hot dog or a brand new book.
Oh no! Oh my god, that is so pure, isn't it?
Isn't it so pure?
I love that new book. I was
love
just asking for money so I could buy clothes or sweets.
Literally sweet, isn't it? Her father gave her first typing lesson at the age of 11 and paid for both his daughters to attend the prestigious all-girls boarding school of Hampton among the Caribbean elite.
Ooh. What age was she doing this typing then? So she was 11 years old, but what year would this have been? Or like era-ish?
Yeah, so 11 years old, it would have been 52.
Wow. Okay.
1952.
That's pretty early to get started, but maybe that's,
Jamaica.
you know, people left school kind of like early, I guess, so they went straight into work.
So actually, no, like she was going to school, but he just was
on
like...
the side?
Yeah. He just was like, put a typewriter in front of her. I was like, right, learn how to typewrite. So of that school, Barbara said there were 100 girls, only 10 of whom were black, of whom my sister and I were, quote, the blackest. So that's when she was arriving in Hampton, she kind of, you know... She'd grown up in what was basically segregation at the time still. And Barbara remembers her father educating his girls on their black history. He would take them to his family's like grave and would tell them about their history and slavery. But he was also known most of all to push the limits of segregation. And one of his most famed anecdotes is when he desegregated the swimming pool of the famed Myrtle Bank Hotel in Kingston.
I love this already.
It's great. So Barbara recalls the event in an interview with The Guardian, saying, "This accountant would go and swim there every day, but my father, his boss, couldn't. So one day my father put on his swimsuit and dived in. The horror. The manager came and said, 'Mr. Blake, you have to get out of the pool.' He said, 'No, call the manager, call the Prime Minister, call God.' And that was it. He liberated that pool and he liberated Jamaican tourism."
That is so badass. That is so badass. Just being like, no, I'm not putting up with this anymore.
Yeah, nah.
I want to use the bloody pool.
Yep. And the event has been pointed to quite an important shift between desegregating Jamaican society and tourism, where they were kind of like, well, yeah, hang on. You know, we live here, we're growing up here, why can't we use the public services? Because it was never truly about the pool. Mr. Blake and his daughter, his family had the pool at home. She and her sister would start their day swimming every day.
But it's not the point, is it? It's not the point. Also, it's kind of like, this is probably going to be very naive of me to say, but I don't think I truly realised that Jamaica was segregated. You hear about it, of course, in South Africa, in Europe, in Northern America, but I didn't really know about the Caribbean islands. And That's quite a surprise to me, actually.
So there weren't any actual laws to enforce segregation like there were in the US or South Africa. But like in the UK and other countries around the world, it was almost non-official segregation that you would see in like bars or housing estates or, well, swimming pools, for example.
Right.
And, well, as we know, her father was like, we're not having any of that. I mean, imagine being, you know, the daughter of a man like that. Inspiring.
You're influenced by your parents, aren't you? Like, and the examples that they set. So to get such a strong role model and standing up for like what is right and what is just from such an early age, unapologetically, I think is wicked.
And I think you see the legacy of her father in her life story.
So
it just gets better.
Hear it.
Her education at the Hampton School gave her a wider view of the world than most of the black Jamaican women of her generation. But when her father's finances collapsed, Barbara had to drop out of school after just getting her O-levels. And basically her father was like, right, one of you two can't go to school anymore, to her and her sister.
Oh my God, so one of them went?
One of them, the younger daughter. And so he said to Barbara, right, I'll put you in a 1-year secretarial course at the Jamaica School of Commerce to become a secretary. Mm-hmm. Now, she recalls how sad she said she shed bitter tears. So dramatic.
Yeah,
I love
that. But you're a teenager, aren't you? I'd be shedding bitter tears over like a boy or something.
Literally. But it's at this school that she would learn most of the skills that would kickstart her career. So Babs's first job was as a typewriter and journalist at her father's magazine, New Day. And her first articles released when she was just 17 years old in 1958.
Goodness. Getting a byline that early. I love that.
So cute. On a book review, actually.
Oh.
Soon, Barbara's work experience would include journalism, copywriting for an advertising agency, hosting a TV quiz show, reading some news bulletins on the TV, appearing in a pantomime, and even a spot of modelling.
Oh my God, she's living the life I want.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. But Barbara says she always felt the call of the motherland, or Britain, explaining by saying, quote, I'd been educated to be a black English woman. I could tell you the average rain rate for all of the Lake District and recite Wordsworth's poem to daffodils. I
cannot do any of that, sorry. I cannot do either of those things. I'm like, am I British? I was born here, but...
Another time, babe, another time. Yeah. She continued, I spoke and wrote perfect English, and I thought... Well, apart from the disadvantage of brown skin, kinky hair and a broad nose, I would be okay, you know? She also wanted to make something of herself that wasn't directly linked to her father. She wanted to sing her own song.
Yeah, make your own name.
So let me first, as in Breaking Bad tradition, show you a picture of Barbara.
Oh, I love this bit.
This is the best bit, I think. It's not very visual, but just give it. It's not very audio, you know. For the podcast,
but I've always been the receiving end, so I'm like, okay, yeah. She's got a little smoky eye moment. No, she looks incredible. It looks like maybe it's a black and white picture. So I presume maybe she was like in front of like a TV curtain or something. Mm-hmm. She's got a brilliant kind of like popped collar, I guess kind of like blazer, suit jacket, a very nice watch and kind of like coiffed hair. Looks very like kind of, maybe, was it 60s?
Yeah, yes. Very mod 60s.
Yeah, very mod, very 60s. She looks very cool. Very cool.
She does. Those eyes staring right into your soul.
Yeah.
Love it. So she felt the call of the motherland, and when a friend landed her a job as an extra in the 1965 film A High Wind in Jamaica, and she was required to travel to the UK to film some of the scenes, Barbara decided to go for it, despite her father's disapproval, and moved to England.
Amazing. So how old was she in 1965?
1965, quick math, she was born in 41.
Oh, okay, so she's like 24.
24. Yeah.
That's
24.
a big age to be going like the other side of the world. I'm going to be in a movie, I'm going to be a star, and also I'm going to live in a country that I've never been to before.
Never been to. And did you know, and I found out researching this, that all Jamaicans own British passports?
Really?
They all had them.
Oh, that's incredible.
Even after independence. So they'd been independent, you know, they were just part of the Commonwealth by then.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, the Windrush generation, and she very much is it,
yes.
you know.
Yeah.
So super interesting.
Yeah, of course, British passport, come on over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but sadly, the warm Commonwealth welcome she and many citizens of the Commonwealth had been taught to expect was nowhere to be found.
Oh.
The history of slavery and her experience with segregation at a young age had prepared her for what she would describe as the white man's contempt, but she was shocked at the practical hardships that racism would cause.
Oh, God.
After filming the film in London was finished, she was put up first few nights at a hotel in Knightsbridge. But then her and her friend had to find a place of their own. She stayed with her friend's aunt for a bit, and then she looked for her own place. And this was to be one of the biggest struggles she would face. So, quote, there began the whole history of being black in Britain because accommodation was really hard for those of us with skin this colour. We were just not accepted. It was very difficult to find accommodation. You had to live in places that were really, really awful. Ladbroke Grove at the time was just derelict buildings with rotting masonry, garbage in the front yard, peeling wallpaper and bad plumbing if there was any at all. And that's all we could have.
Jesus Christ.
Can you...
And this is only 60 years ago.
Literally.
You couldn't literally get a house because I guess you'd be renting, right? So it'd be whether the landlords allowed black people in their houses and they were well in their right at the time to say no.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking. It's disgusting.
Living in squalor through no choice of your own. You could afford something a little bit nicer, but...
And it's not even more interesting, but I think it's super interesting that, she's a black woman who grew up in the elite of the Caribbean elite.
She's been on the right side of the head, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
swimming
then
pool in your back garden. And a lot of these people wouldn't have had that. Like the landlords, I'm talking about, these white people are not allowing them.
No.
Yeah, she's lived a nice life back home.
So then she was, because of her skin colour, was forced to kind of go down a
couple of social pegs. Yeah.
So that was a shock to her, as it would be to fucking anyone. So finally, though, she got lucky because one of the actors at a high wind in Jamaica vouched for her to a landlady in the same building, and she moved into her own one-room bedsit with a bath and a gas fire. Okay. So she says in an interview, basically this landlady had a look at her and was like, okay, you seem decent, you're not like a street lady,
right? Okay, there's a whole other few things at play there.
Jesus.
She's an acceptable black girl, so therefore she can
and because she was vouched for,
right?
Just terrific. So she worked as a secretary for a few years, including for a PR company that worked closely with the Jamaican Board of Tourism. So soon she was like, well, hang on, I used to do PR a lot and, journalism and stuff in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So she saw that there was this qualification she could do. So she marched up there and she took the test and she got that qualification.
Yes.
And then she took it straight to the boss and was promoted to a PR officer.
Amazing.
So she's not dilly-dallying.
No, she is setting those goals. She's achieving. She's dreaming. She's believing. She's achieving.
Absolutely. So that's when she began to write articles, firstly focusing on stuff like she had double-page spread on the Sunday Times, which was about Jamaican culture, food and tourism, and she was like, I was doing like recipes about plantain and all that.
Oh my God, that is a jump. And in the Times of, all places, and this would have been back in the 60s, 70s still?
Yeah, this was, still 60s. It was probably 65, somehow 66.
Yeah.
So, she got that into that, and that gave her an entrance into Fleet Street journalism. And, she'd been a journalist. She was really excited at the time. It was the whole time of the trilby and the
and the wavy newspaper.
Yeah, come on by. 2 cents. I'm in America now. Come on by.
We've seen it in the movies. They're on the street and then you're like, 50p,
extra,
50p, extra. Read all about it.
Love it. Literally.
We just don't get that anymore, do we? No. Waving around a Guardian on the street. I'm here for the drama of it all.
Oh, yeah. And now it's just like your free pair of Metro.
Or whatever. Yeah.
And it's like, no one wants to sit back here.
Waitrose car, get your free coffee and a free...
Evening Standard, anyone?
That's it. Okay, that's true, actually. We do get a little bit of that. And then no one ever takes it.
Those two, Metro and Evening Standard.
Yes.
But we're in such a capitalist world now that we're like, if something's given for free, we do not want it.
Yes. Very true.
So, when she heard that Thames Television was starting a new station in London and were looking for journalists for their Today show, she applied and went for an interview.
Good for her.
Fuck yeah. 3 weeks later, the studio rang. Ding-a-ling-ling. She got the job.
Oh my God.
She got the job.
This is incredible. And so she should. She's worked her ass off. She's got more than enough qualifications. She's got plenty of experience. She's been working in this industry since the age of 17.
Literally.
Good for her.
Really good for her.
Yeah.
So, in effect, she became Britain's first black TV reporter.
And what year was this?
1968.
In the 60s still.
Yeah, girl. So,
oh my God.
Barbara was thrilled, but what really shocked her is that the day that she walked into her job, the news of her landing the job made headline news, front page news, on every single front page across the UK.
Oh.
She said the day she walked into the studio, all the journalists looked at her and ran off to write copy. Because she was the first black person to be...
So someone just getting a job, just anyone, you or I could just get a job somewhere, and that would then make the news because God forbid someone with brown skin could do this job.
This is going to get so worse.
Oh, no.
Every single media outlet had her on front page except for one. Can you guess which one?
Is it in a negative way? Guardian?
The Daily Express.
Oh.
Because they had a rule that black people couldn't be on the front page of the news.
Oh, okay, right. So they couldn't even express their dismay.
No.
It was below that.
Yeah.
They couldn't even... oh, wow. They couldn't even have a black person on the front of the cover.
No. They had Shirley Bassey in the entertainment page, number page 13, but every newspaper except for the Daily Express had her on the cover.
Everyone was racist, but they were too racist.
Too racist. So Kemi and I worked in a video editing thing that would deal with tabloids
lots of news companies, lots of different titles. And you know how wicked they can sometimes be, but this is a new low, right?
This is a new low, and oh God,
disgusting. I shudder.
But Barbara took no notice.
Oh, good
No,
for
she
her.
didn't.
Just the whole of the country just on her tail. And she's like, well, I'm doing my job. I'm turning up. Bring my packed lunch.
And
get
she
to the
got,
job.
literally, packed lunch. She got straight to work, becoming Britain's first black TV reporter.
Amazing. She's a queen and I love her.
I love her so much. So I am actually going to show you a little video of her in her prime.
Oh my God.
So this is a package she did on people with disabilities doing football and basketball sports.
Amazing.
So there she is in her little...
Oh, she's in a little mini...
Yeah,
I love this. Very 60s.
Well, the opportunity presented itself.
Did you decide to open a store in the Coventry market?
Well, the opportunity presented
Coventry market.
itself.
Her voice is amazing. Proper
it?
You first mentioned it.
Customers and everybody alike.
Neil, did you decide to come into the venture with Peter when he first mentioned it?
Well, I was a bit fed up with life.
How cool.
This is
And then
amazing.
this is amazing at the end.
Also, no, it's not the point, but she looks great. I
She
love
looks
60s fashion. She looks amazing.
so gorgeous.
Again, not the point, it's her merit, but...
Look.
Oh my God, also, I love that they're playing basketball because it's the 60s. They're all in suits.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Right? Who the hell?
They're playing wheelchair basketball, which is amazing, but they're literally wearing suit and tie.
Literally.
Oh, amazing. And she's playing basketball with them. Oh, that is incredible.
Look how beautiful she is.
She's very
And then-
beautiful.
So this is 1968, and she is, a reporter on TV, and she's black. And
This is incredible. And also, I know it shouldn't be a big thing, but
No.
she's interviewing two white men on
Yeah.
the TV. And they're, I don't know what their views are, but they seem to be having a nice time with her,
Yeah.
getting her to have a go at the basketball. It just feels,
Yeah.
very progressive. And as it should be, but we all know it was not. The 60s were a notoriously racist time.
Absolutely.
So it's just amazing to see that was also going on in the midst of horrendous racism.
that's it. And she said she feels like maybe journalism helped her, right? Because people were they wanted to be on TV, so it kind of
Yeah.
didn't really matter who was. She felt slightly protected from it. But just good on her for going and just doing
Just
it and
doing
getting
it
on
against
with
all
her
odds.
job.
Yeah.
Because you can imagine what the headlines might have been.
They would have been
or-
horrendous.
They would have been horrendous.
It makes me think of Diane Abbott,
yeah.
who
yeah.
has got the most abuse being a black female politician. She was the first.
Yeah, she was the first female politician. Yeah, and she
Yeah.
got so much abuse. She
So
still
much
does.
abuse. And yet, for all sides of the house, she would have been. The fact she did it as broken barriers. So there's other black women can also be in House of Parliament.
Why is it every time a minority person gets given a chance,
One chance.
one chance,
One
chance, it's almost as if the whole of their community is riding on this.
Yes.
And it's well,
Even though, and that's the flip side of it. It's amazing, she's just doing her job, but also she doesn't have to speak for every black woman. There's a really
Exactly.
interesting thing like, yeah, you don't represent everyone. You could just do it for whatever reason you want, but you don't have to have the whole weight of a community on your back. And that's an unfortunate pressure that's put on a lot of people who are breaking waves.
Yeah.
They then get the pressure of doing the job. I mean, the first one's to do the job, and then the pressure of the whole community behind them, which
Definitely.
is, a different kind of flip side to that.
Very different flip side. So, but it's really interesting.
That is really interesting. I love seeing that video. Thank you for showing me.
Of course. And like, I invite everyone to go and look. Just Google it. And there's loads of little reports.
Oh, I'm going to go
So
home
cute.
and watch loads of them.
Literally.
She's amazing. Definitely
She's
watch
so
it.
amazing. So Barbara interviewed a huge array of people, including Sir Michael Caine,
Oh,
Sir Francis Chichester, who was the first to sail around the world,
amazing.
and reported on a number of things from housing problems, crime, and even a cat that ate oysters.
Oh, okay. Well, I love that.
Yeah. Just, the thing we all go into
It's
journalism
got to be
for,
the light with the shade,
Exactly.
Housing crisis, but also cat with oysters.
Literally. She actually got on really well with her colleagues,
Good.
including TV host Eamon Andrews, and said her being black didn't seem to be a problem whatsoever, and she was treated as just another journalist,
Yeah,
which we
good.
love to hear.
Yeah.
But now, by the mid-60s, the black liberation movement was in full swing, especially in America.
Mm-hmm.
But Barbara remembers how America, Malcolm X, and
Mm.
this notion of black beauty felt really far from her experience in London.
Mm-hmm.
Despite her hard work, when her contract was to be renewed after 9 months, she was called into the studio and without a word of warning was let go.
Why? I mean, I think I know why, but did they give a...
So Barbara was eventually told, trigger warning, that they had been receiving almost daily letters from members of the public saying things like, get that N-word off the screen.
Okay, so it's good while it lasted, and then they caved into public pressure, so the first black TV journalist in the UK was taken off.
Was forgotten to our history because of
So that 9 months, she was acing it, killing it,
killing it.
and then she was taken off.
They were like, look, we're getting almost... They showed her the letters. They showed her some of the letters.
Oh my God, no one needs to see abusive letters.
Literally, like, ugh. I can't imagine, like we're saying this, we're detached, but like I have had moments in like a job where like I was told at one moment like my lisp wouldn't ever get me like audio
Jesus
work,
Christ.
and they like I was offered like a speech therapist.
Wow. To try and change you
Yeah,
for a job.
and this was like 2 years ago.
That
So-
is disgusting, yeah.
So it's kind of like I've had moments where that, and then you just run to the toilet and just like burst out into tears. And I cannot imagine seeing like that word, having that.
Yeah.
She must have been, well, she was understandably distraught.
Yeah,
and she
of
said
course.
of it was almost as if I had been found to have a communicable disease. I had been so excited to get this job. And now I had to tell my friends I no longer had it just because I was black.
Wow.
I hid myself in shame for a long time.
Jesus Christ. That just breaks my heart, because you'd like to think that kind of thing doesn't happen these days, but obviously it does. People we're living in an age of Twitter now where people can fire off a tweet, but it does take something even more wickedly to write a letter and post it. You're that upset.
Yeah.
People can be flippant with a tweet, and neither is acceptable, but that's just, stacks and stacks of letters. And this is a real shame they didn't stick by her and was like, no, she's our journalist and she's doing that.
So the worst bit of this, right, is that I don't know if you've heard of the 1965 Race Relations Act.
I think maybe in passing,
I'd heard it in
but like
passing.
I wouldn't know, like, oh yeah, that's the one where this
Gotcha.
happened.
So basically in 1965, an act called the Race Relations Act was proposed and put into law, which outlawed discrimination against people on the grounds of race and colour in public places. However, it didn't do much to protect people when it came to housing or work. So, thanks to many anti-racist and immigrant groups, a bill to amend the 1965 Act and add the protection of housing and jobs was passed in 1968.
Okay.
So by the time she's actually in this job, she
Yes.
should have been protected.
Oh, so this is illegal now.
Yeah. So basically she, at the time, Thames Television could have chosen to not listen
Yeah.
to their racist viewers.
Yeah.
And kept her on, said, no, fuck you.
But then they were illegal when they got rid of her on the grounds of race.
And they never gave an official reason to why they got rid
Okay,
of
so
her.
she found this out later, so she couldn't
She
even
found
sue
this
them.
out, yeah. And
So
at
then
the
what's
time...
the point of the law? Like...
exactly. And I think, this story, it goes, so you will see, but
Yeah.
it's, I just think like, it's not her, well, obviously it's not her fault, but like, at the time you're like, you don't know what can protect you when you're still literally fighting and no one's going to say to you, oh yeah, here you go, babe.
Yeah, no one's got your back. So then you're
has your back.
completely on your own. This is really heartbreaking because it's made me angry that even the law, and even the amendment to the law to make it more, it still did not give her the protection because ultimately,
Yeah.
no one would have been affected by that law because any employer, even if they were dismissing you on the grounds of race, they would just say, well, it's not about race.
Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't about race. It was about, X, Y, or Z. But of course it's about race. So there's no...
You did something and that's why
there's absolutely no protection there for black workers.
Yeah.
So after that, what does she do then?
So, 6 months later, she landed a job working for ATV in Birmingham.
Okay.
However, things were still far from pleasant, and I would dare to say they actually got worse.
Oh, Christ.
She was forced to commute from London to Birmingham
What?
every day. Because
Whoa. How long is this train? Because there aren't fast trains like we've got now. The old,
literally.
Virgin, high speed.
And even that, they won't get you there.
No, that's still a couple of hours or an hour and a half or something,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Here to Manchester, it's 3, 4. So they wouldn't, because hotels would not accept her as a guest.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
I'm really sorry.
Oh, this is really just like... I was like, yeah, I started the story like, yeah,
Yeah.
boss bitch, boss babe, love this. And I'm like, oh no.
It gets better. It ends well.
Okay, good.
Okay.
We're going to turn this thing around.
We are, but we can be sad now.
Yeah, because of course it's a really horrific thing to just think that like people who like literally are, well, I'm late 20s, mid to late 20s, like my grandparents' generation, and there were people literally not being able to stay in a hotel.
Yeah.
That just breaks my heart. That's only like 2 generations above me.
Yeah.
It just, it's really not far from where we are right now.
Absolutely.
These people would have been alive right now. And the fact that people working in the hotel saying no, they'd be in their 80s and 90s. They're still around.
Oh, of course they are. Leroy upstairs.
No.
My little love.
Yeah, we're not saying he's
No.
racist.
No, sorry.
Oh my god, I was like, Jesus, okay.
No. Sorry,
No, but yeah, people of that generation who lived through all of that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I meant like an old Windrush generation who's still alive.
Yeah. Oh God, yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, of course. And
Yeah,
experienced all this firsthand.
Yeah.
And then they're kind of elderly now and lived through all of this.
And lived through all of this. And it's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like there's still
yes.
miles and miles and leagues and leagues to go.
Yeah.
But so her colleagues were far less welcoming as well than those on the Today programme and would use racial slurs in her presence.
Wow.
One day on a job she was asked, well, Barbara, this is horrific. Well, Barbara, if black people are so great, how come they didn't paint the Mona Lisa?
What?
That's actually laughable.
Okay, yeah. Can we just unpick that?
What is the logic?
What is the logic there?
Bonjour.
Oh, no. Wait.
Right, yeah. No.
'Cause do you know what? Part of me is like wanting to get into it, but part of me is like, that argument is so goddamn ridiculous. I don't even want to like justify it with an answer. No, because of course black people don't do art.
No.
They don't make art.
No. And
they aren't the birthplace of all music genres that we know and love.
literally, and all art. Have you seen the pyramids? Have you seen
have you seen any of the great like wonders? Yeah.
So she was obviously speechless and recalls in an interview with The Guardian, quote, I didn't have an answer. I didn't know there was anything to compare to the Mona Lisa. I thought that Egypt was Elizabeth Taylor in Cleopatra, I didn't know anything about Africa except that we had come from there as slaves. That's all I knew. And this is
That's
where...
heartbreaking, isn't it?
This is heartbreaking. And this is where it's... I mean, we came and I was in Africa at the start of the year.
Yes, you were.
And like being a white man there, like, and just being so welcomed and feeling like, the love, the smiles,
Yeah.
And being like, my ancestors, people came here and didn't see people.
Yes.
They didn't even see people.
No. Animals. That's what they thought.
And it breaks my heart. And it's like, Like when you put that down,
Yeah.
like when you actually like lay that down and look at it, as we get older,
Yeah.
I'm just more and more disgusted with. I just don't have time for it.
No.
We don't have time for
We
racism.
do not
We
have
don't
time
have time
for
for
it. We do
queer,
not,
transphobia.
But a lot of people have time for it.
They do, and every conversation is like, well, but I would like to, advocate, the devil's advocate. I'm like, that's what's kept white supremacy going for years, babe.
The devil's advocate is working.
It's a white man.
Working overtime.
So, and that's the thing. They were taken from Africa. They were not, you hear about it, that's why we capitalize the B of black, especially for African American, we call them, because so many lost where they were from.
Yeah.
They lost their stories. And me going there, like, you see the tribes, you see the Boale, the Bekis, all that, and you're like, you feel the culture, you feel the love, and they have been here for, like, it's the birthplace of civilization.
Yeah, for everyone.
For everyone.
That's what I love, just him with a racist, Everyone came from Africa, and the Pangea, we all came from there.
Literally. So it just shows ignorance, it shows all of that. And unfortunately, she, at the time, didn't feel like she had anything to answer.
Haven't we all been there in any argument, no matter how trivial?
It's so true.
You're walking home, you're like, damn, I should have said that. Oh, God, I wish I said that. Let alone obviously a really heinous kind of racial whatever. But in anything, I'm like, damn it. No one's expected to be, have the moment and, the answer in one moment.
Literally. So, another time at an office party, she cut herself on some glass and a woman exclaimed saying, "Oh, look, it's red," and everyone burst out laughing.
Oh.
Yeah. This is like 69, 70.
Okay, so it feels like we've just like gone back a few years.
No, yeah. It's like, I can't even.
This is really disturbing.
Yeah. And last little bit of like horrible thing, but bit by bit racism began to seep into the program she would work on too. In this one report on swimming, she was filmed with a white colleague swimming a lap. And she was a damn good swimmer.
Well, she had a pole in her back garden as a kid.
Exactly. And she'd even competed in swimming races in the Kingston Harbour race when she was 15. But being on TV, she preferred to swim with her head above water, which meant her body was like slightly less horizontal.
So you don't break your neck.
Exactly. Than her white colleague. And so they actually commented on this as proof that white people swam better than black people.
Holy Jesus. Was this colleague a man by any chance? Because I wonder, probably the reason she didn't put her hand underwater is because, let's be honest, those 60s quiffs, there's a lot of hairspray holding them up. I know if I'm having a good hair day and a good makeup day, I'm being filmed TV, my hair is not going underwater.
No, my mum never, even when we're on holiday, she doesn't put it under.
Love it.
I'm like, yeah, no.
That chlorine on your hair, no thank you.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I could put castor oil and shea butter on that. I'm not going to mess this up.
Literally, and the package she did literally started with a footage of her swimming, and you hear a guy saying like, "Oh yeah, look, she's much lower in the back." Like comment.
Her head is up. Oh my God, Jesus! And that is scientific proof that because black people don't swim.
Oh yeah, of course. So back to the Race Relations Act. It's to this backdrop that the tensions between whites and non-white people flared up in Notting Hill.
Okay.
So,
well, I've heard of those, right? Yeah.
So that was all with this. And one man who was fervently opposed to this amendment and was very anti-immigration was Wolverhampton MP Enoch Powell.
Oh.
Yeah.
What a great guy he is. What a lovely man.
If you know him.
We know him very well.
So he obviously made headlines with his 1968 speech, A River of Blood, in which he strongly criticised mass immigration, especially Commonwealth immigration to the United Kingdom and the proposed Race Relations Bill. So he tried to stop the 1968 amendment.
Of course he did.
Now, I bring him up not because I just love to talk about old white racists, but Barbara and Enoch Powell nearly came face to face when Powell was invited to be interviewed at ATV's Birmingham studio.
Wow.
However, Barbara was sent to report out in the bitter cold without a word of warning and was later informed that Powell had only agreed to be interviewed if, quote, the black girl isn't there.
Wow. So they sent her out in the cold.
And she said, "Do you know what? I wasn't surprised because of the man that he is.
Yeah.
But she was like, I regret that I never got to interview him because I would have had quite a few good hard questions to give him.
Oh, that would have been an interview of the ages, wouldn't it?
Literally. So the year she was fired by the Today programme was the same year the strengthened bill came into power, and this could and should have protected her from losing her job, as we said. But the Thames television could have dismissed its viewers' racist views and paved a new example to media outlets, but it sadly didn't. Barbara's contract with ATV ended after 6 months, but she was glad of it.
Yeah, sounds
Get
like a really
her out
nasty,
of there.
toxic working environment.
Ooh.
Yeah, get out.
Get out, babe.
Get
Literally, get out. She moved to behind the screen and started working as a researcher for BBC's Man Alive series, which she absolutely loved.
Good.
So we're coming back up, babe.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are coming up.
Yeah.
We are coming up.
Raise from the ashes, yes.
Literally. So after working on numerous documentaries and shows, including a documentary about the Cannes Film Festival, she was asked to help promote a 1972 film called The Harder They Come, which told the life of reggae legend Jimmy Cliff.
Amazing.
She said of it, the film blew my mind. It showed me a culture and country that I didn't know existed. The reggae and the Rasta world, which wasn't part of the life I'd experienced there before. I felt that was an opportunity for me to see a new Jamaica, the real Jamaica.
Oh, I love this. It's like she came to the UK.
Thinking she was a white woman, being
Yeah,
that black English
and finding
woman.
out that home was still home, and there was more to explore back there. That's amazing.
So good. So, we can't fucking blame her. After feeling like Britain no longer had a place for her, she decided to move back to Kingston, Jamaica in 1972.
Wow. So she was it 4 years in total?
She was there from 65 to 72.
Okay,
so she was
so
there
longer.
a good,
Yeah.
good nearly 10 years. In a way, it's when she moved back to Jamaica that her story really begins.
What?
Yeah, and it shows just how much a loss the UK had, in terms of her brilliance.
Yeah.
So when she returned to her homeland, her father said, "You've made a name in England. Now you've got to make a name for yourself in Jamaica, at home, where it matters."
Oh my God. Yes.
Oh, I love it. I can see him. And what a name she made. So she continued working on films and travelled the world. She wrote books, including her 1982 memoir of her time in Britain called Growing Out, Black Hair and Black Pride in the Swinging 60s.
Wow.
She continued reporting for various Jamaican media outlets and interviewed the likes of Cuba's Fidel Castro.
Whoa.
Or,
okay, yeah.
Or UK Prime Minister Harold Wilson.
The big boys.
Big boys. She also went on a spiritual journey as a Rastafarian.
Oh, wow.
And she became a Rastafarian.
Oh, my goodness. And she'd first seen of this culture while she was living in the UK.
Just
through a film.
Seen through a film. So, that really speaks to the 60s Jamaica, 50s, 40s, where she grew up.
Yeah.
You know, she was living that kind of sheltered life with her dad. So she wasn't maybe mixing with the locale as much. She was with the Caribbean elite.
Yes, yeah.
So I think she really just kind of had this
really
full circle moment where she's like...
She had to go to the other side of the world to,
She had to... Do you know
find home again.
Do you know what worse? She had to go and be despised by people for just being who she is, to realise how fucking amazing she is, to learn how to love that.
Yeah. And embrace it more so than she'd ever done before.
I feel like that lesson, we all need it.
That is a very strong lesson,
it's
actually.
True. Yeah.
Always be yourself.
Like, the bullies will know. The bullies will fucking know.
Yeah.
They will know when you are up on that mountain looking at them down.
Exactly.
You know? Oh, I love it.
Oh, I love that.
So... in 1984, she was elected as an independent senator, becoming the first Rastafari to sit in Jamaican Parliament.
Oh my God, her story is like bam, 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 bam.
How fucking
so
cool
much
is that?
happening. That's incredible. I love that.
Rastafari.
Wow.
I love it. Around about that time, she gave birth to her first and only son, Maconan David Blake Hanna, who'd go on to make headlines himself when he was appointed in 1998 as a youth technology consultant by the then Minister of Commerce and Technology at the age of 13.
Sorry. This family are wild. This family are incredible. Such high achievers.
Incredible.
The parents are already making headlines. She's making headlines. Her son is making headlines at the age of 13.
13. He became the youngest consultant ever appointed by the Jamaican government.
13 years old.
13 years old, he's consulting to a minister about technology and commerce.
13.
Excuse me? 13. What were you doing at 13?
Oh
What was
my
I doing
God.
at 13? Jesus.
Yeah,
I was spiking my hair up with hairspray
just
and
got
learning
you.
how to play Lady Gaga songs.
Oh
on the
my
piano.
God. Yeah. I was really like crying over boys.
Yeah.
Going out to
Me
play in the
too.
garden.
Crying over the fact I like boys.
Yeah.
That's another bloody story.
Embrace that. Yeah. We're
Exactly.
embracing that now.
So, Now, this is where... So, obviously, we can probably say she had a bit of a forgotten story, right?
Yeah, 100%.
She was completely forgotten.
Why? And this is the thing, we both come from journalistic backgrounds. I did a journalism degree, you did a journalism degree,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
How come that name was never mentioned throughout my 3 years of journalism degree?
Exactly.
Interesting, right?
Very interesting. So, this might explain why. In 2008, The Guardian shared a poster containing the common misconception that Trevor McDonald was the first black person to report the news on British TV after he joined ITN in 1973. Does he maybe ring a bell? Maybe?
Oh, yeah, of course. He's a bloody legend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that Moira Stewart on BBC
Yes.
News from
Another
1981 was the first black woman. So they shared a poster.
Completely erased.
Completely erased. Do you know what she did? She wrote a letter to the Guardian.
Good for her.
She fucking wrote a letter to the Guardian. Started by saying, I must put history right.
Yeah, she was.
She was like, I must put history right. And with this letter, she began to reclaim her history.
Yeah,
Jamaica's
good.
history. The
Yeah.
history of being black in the UK and what she
Wow.
endured.
That is incredible. And that's really bad that everyone had forgotten about her and what she did. And after
Literally.
9 months, she was taken off because everyone was too racist to her.
Yeah, and they forgot that.
Yeah, of course, they forget that very quickly.
So, for the first time in Breaking Bad history, I have the pleasure to say that the awesome life that we are looking back on is still going strong.
Yes!
She is alive and kicking at 81 years old.
Oh, incredible. I hope she's just relaxing on a beach in Jamaica. She's had too much hardship throughout her life. I hope she's just like loving her life at the moment.
She is loving it. Now, 81-year-old Barbara Blake Hannah lives in Jamaica near her son, and despite only returning for 3 short trips to the UK since leaving in 72, she was like, oh,
yeah, I'm getting bad vibes, getting out of here, yeah.
She still keeps an eye on her former motherland. She wasn't surprised when Meghan Markle began to receive racist abuse from the tabloids, saying it reminded her of those who wrote in those racist remarks that caused her to lose her job on the Today programme. She held her breath with excitement when news of Britain's statue of Edward Colston, notorious slave traders, was toppled. He was
Good
gone.
on the people of Bristol.
Yeah, good on him. When she said, when I saw that statue come down, I thought, oh my goodness, I just had to smile and clap. I am part of a generation that was brought up to humbly obey and accept racism.
Yes.
So I am glad to see our next generation are not putting up with it anymore.
Yes.
Chills.
Oh, I love it. I'm so sad that she had to go through that, but I'm glad she's still alive to kind of see a turning point.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
we've
yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
like we
yeah,
said, still got a long way to go. But
Absolutely.
Oh, that is incredible.
It's fucking incredible. Now, finally, her role in Britain's black history as a journalist is being recognised. In 2021... Yes, girl, we are current. I keep it current.
So current.
So current.
Oh my God, yes.
The inaugural Barbara Blake Hannah Prize for up-and-coming minority ethnic journalists was awarded to the independent's Kubashan Baptiste, who was flown out to Jamaica to meet Mrs. Blake Hannah herself for the prize.
Oh my God. Oh, I really want to cry.
I'm actually getting chills.
I really want to cry. It's making me so emotional. Wow.
Like, as a black journalist yourself.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is, for someone that was just like kind of kicked from pillar to post, never wanted in the UK, even though she was like more than, up to the job, to finally be, this is the problem with just a lot of people around the board, artists, whatever, journalists, a lot of people are never recognised for their work while they're alive.
Yeah.
They never get their flowers while they're alive.
Absolutely. This is why I'm so happy about this.
Yeah, and this is making me really happy that, there's a prize named, and she's here to kind of witness that, because it's all good and well having prizes after, people who are, I mean, do you know what? This is going to be completely off tangent, but it reminds me of Alan Turing, who was pardoned for being homosexual after his death. And I just thought, well, he's gone now.
Yeah.
He's never going to know that we live in a society now where things are getting better than it was when he was alive. Although, we've still got so much to go. And it just makes me, so I'm just really happy now.
Can you imagine, like Alan Turing when he took his own life?
Yes. Yeah.
When he took his own life,
yeah.
If one person had said, baby gets better, he was chemically castrated for saving the world.
Yes.
Like, he saved the world.
He saved the world. Yeah,
and then for being who he was, which is the person that
and
fucking
Winston
saved
bloody
the world.
Churchill gets all the bloody credit. Yeah, it was cheering.
My hero, the darkest hour. The darkest hour when we castrated the man that
who
stopped the
saved the
Nazis
world
from
war.
fucking invading the UK.
That's really how we treat people that, that just really, that's why I kind of trailed off there because I just got really upset that there's people, and there are so many other examples in history, many more that we haven't touched on today that would also have that same thing. We're never recognised, we're treated awfully while they were here, and then, 20, 30 years later, oh yes, sorry, that was and I know it wasn't the people who were doing it at the time, the government will issue a pardon, and yes, no, that should never have been the case, but it was, and they suffered. So I'm really happy that she's been able to get her flowers and see that people appreciate her, and history is being righted. You're telling the story today, which is so important, because I didn't know about her. There'll be a lot of your listeners who didn't know about her. It's all good, people who are into journalism and gardening. In fact, I'm into journalism, I didn't even know that.
Exactly.
So it really is forgotten history, and it's British. This is British, not just
it's our
it's
like
black
I'm
British
white, you're
history,
black, but it's our
British
history.
It's British history.
It's British history.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what. So I've got another little clip that I want to show you as an 80-year-old woman.
Oh wow!
And she's being asked by a amazing, black journalist. Here he is. Bryan Knight, who does a YouTube called Living Legend, and he interviewed her. And I used some of the quotes and actually commented, and he was like, yeah, no worries, use mine.
Oh, amazing.
When you look at all of that going on in Britain, do you really think Britain has developed since you left?
I wouldn't say developed. Britain can't change. You've got your queen. It's still the same history. Britain can't change. Britain would have to change from the top. And it's not going to happen right away, I don't even want to talk. Britain can't change. Britain can't change until it apologizes for slavery. And that's the day it would recognize its great crime to black people. And when it does recognize that, it will gain some humility. And with humility, change will come. It won't happen till Britain apologizes. We ask for reparations. I know that Britain is never, ever going to pay black people. Britain can't afford to. It would bankrupt the entire country. The debt to all the black people that are a result of British slavery, the debt is unpayable. But an apology would be really cool. But an apology would have to come out of humility, out of great humility. And I don't see that humility.
I actually started crying.
Every word. She is so correct. There is this, and this is like a whole other podcast. Oh, we can really get into it.
Go for it, babe.
But there's this kind of like blindness to racism. And I think that's what the last couple of years has been about. Educating how racism isn't necessarily just calling someone a slur. Mm-hmm. It develops in so many different forms, and often unknowingly so it's like adjusting your privilege, and also just like recognizing that when things are actually racist, an comment you might think is a joke is actually quite racist, and it takes a lot of people to be like, oh my god, was that racist? So I think there's a lot of learning going on. That's really positive. It's
learning, and the thing is, that's it. Like, white people cannot start being like getting on the defensive. That's it. Being like, oh, but my intentions weren't bad. You need to be like, why do I feel this way? Why did I grow up being told that was okay to think, to feel, to say stuff like that?
It's unpicking it all.
Unpicking. Same with, like, we talk about it in other episodes, like homophobia. Yeah. I would say every queer person is grown up and birthed in homophobia. It took me years. Like, I only started wearing makeup and expressing my gender identity and like looking at myself and giving myself the time of day. I only started that last year.
I think a lot of things are internalized when you're taught to be a certain way, to do a certain thing, to look a certain way.
Of course.
And it's hard to unpick.
Of course it is, because it's so many years of so many people who have the benefit to keeping this, patriarchy, this thing up there.
The reason it is there is to keep those people in power. They never want to give that up.
Of course they don't.
They never want to give that up.
Why would Enoch Powell, stand up in government?
No, he doesn't want to let other people in. You know what I mean? Like, so it's the people, if, she's saying there that it needs to be the people at the very top to apologise. Well, the people at the very top don't want to apologise because
they would have done it already.
Yeah, they would have done it already, but also they want to keep the power that they've already got. They don't want to have to, lose them. It's all about protection of people at the very, very top, essentially, and not letting people in. So it's amazing when people kind of do take a chance on other people and let them in and, you know, invite them into these spaces that weren't inherently theirs to begin with, you know, for whatever reason.
Absolutely. And I always go back to this, but like, it's like when I was told, oh, but won't you be limiting yourself if you're doing stories only about forgotten people? And I'm like,
you'd rather
question.
tell the same story that everyone's heard a gazillion times.
Exactly.
Tell me about Henry VIII. How many wives did he have? Have you ever heard this
Literally.
little old story?
Literally.
You know, like, it's really interesting.
You hear all about that, but slavery, the fact our country made and gave the boat ships that took millions.
Yeah. Well, this is okay. Then leading on to that point, I'm just going to give a shout out to Rennie Edo Lodge's book. Well, I'm no longer talking to white people about race.
Literally,
I read it. Amazing.
Last 3 months ago.
I read it a couple of years ago, and I'm not ashamed to say it because it was never taught, but I did not know Britain had such a history in slavery.
Yeah, me neither.
Like the fact there are like ports in Bristol and Liverpool, notoriously like bad ports for slavery. I just thought we kind of like reaped the sugar, reaped the money, gave a few ships, but we were ingrained in that. And yet the curriculum, don't know what it's like now in 2022, but when I was in school, you know, 2015, no, I'm older than that, 2010, 2011, when I was in year 10 and 11, it was all, okay, and America did this, and America did this, and America, it was kind of like...
The
pushing it
cotton
onto them.
plantations.
Yeah. It was all over there. It wasn't that awful. What they did was awful. No kind of like, okay, here's what we did.
Yeah.
The fact we're called Great Britain. I was not taught about the Commonwealth. How did we acquire those countries, do we think?
I mean...
I've never been taught that. We know it's bloodshed.
Yeah.
We know damn well it is.
Yeah.
But was never taught that. It's just so important that you're telling these stories so we can learn and unpick our history.
Well, thank you. I mean, I feel like it's a debt that we all have. Like, and I am just doing the work that everyone should be doing.
Everyone should be doing this.
You know,
yeah.
and like already when you think about it, like black people weren't native to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Bob Marley, you know,
Yes.
who, you know,
Yeah.
they were native to Africa. They were brought to this tiny island. They were like, live here, you know.
Yeah. Picked up, dropped off. Here you go.
No, this is who you are. No, you know. It's just so upsetting. And the thing is, all we can do, we can't hide it under the rug.
No.
That's what people have wanted to do. It's
It's
when you
been
talk about, you know,
convenient. It's been easy.
it's been easy
for other people.
You need to go, and we've talked about this a lot, you and I, you know, we need to go and find our history. We need to. I'm doing that now as a queer person, and that's why I just invite anyone to be like, be proud of who you are, go and find out who you are, because we have a huge history.
Well, there's Dave's track called Black, which is one of the most beautiful songs I think I've ever heard, and it always brings me to tears every time I listen to it. And he did that amazing performance of the Brits a couple of years ago. Truly monumental stuff. And in one of the lyrics, I don't know exactly, but he basically talks about a cousin who thought he was Egyptian, but he's actually like, you know, Somali or something like that. He thought he was, and this is so common for people who have been displaced through, like, you know, the Commonwealth or whatever it may be, not actually knowing their lineage, not actually knowing their history. And that's really sad. A lot of people maybe take that for granted. Oh yeah, you know, my aunt and then I come from Wales and then Spain and then whatever. But there's a lot of like black people's histories. They don't know their history. Yeah.
Exactly.
What oh my God, I can't say it. Wait, what was it? Windrush. Okay. Windrush, it stops at Windrush.
Literally.
They don't go beyond that. No. Like, and then it's all just hearsay. And then when those generations die out, people just don't know what their lineage is. And that's really sad. Yeah.
Do you know what? That kind of reminds me a little bit. What about, you know, our lovely lady that we just did, Barbara, with having to go to England to learn about the Rastafarianism.
Yes,
like, what I would like to say to that, and it's how I felt like I grew up gay, I never felt part of any community because I was the only gay in the village. Yeah. So it's not the same thing. Yeah. But I always
like
have an other. You were the other.
Yeah,
I didn't have a community. When I came to London, I really thought that I would come and just be like, welcomed, and I would find my gay people. I was so anxious going to my first gay club. I felt a bit of an imposter. I was like, I know I'm gay, but like, do I know the references? You know, the culture. That's why, like, something like silly, but RuPaul's Drag Race, and just getting into the queer culture,
seeing it on the TV,
just
and like
going there,
representation, something. People who are like, oh right, well I haven't seen anyone who like looks or sounds or lives like me. Or
the only thing that I had seen, grew up with, was, you know, gay storylines in EastEnders or shows like that, which were always super dramatic. You know, you know, marrying a woman but actually you're having a gay affair. You know, promiscuous. It was all that. So what you're saying about that, what I would like to say, that it wasn't too late for me to learn. It's not too late for you or anyone out there. You have a history. It doesn't matter if you're late to the party. Didn't matter for Barbara.
Did not matter for
And what did she
Barbara.
become? The first fucking Rastafarian in
She
the
was
Senate.
Badass.
She was a badass.
Was badass.
So, she was also officially part of Britain's Black History Month curriculum.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. And received an Order of Distinction from the Jamaican government. And I'm going to finish the story with that when she heard about the Journalism Award, she said, quote, "Every year I will be remembered by all these beautiful black, brown, Asian journalists. I am so honoured."
Oh, that is
That's
beautiful.
beautiful.
That is incredible.
And so, my dearest Kemi, that was the story of Britain's beautiful, inspiring, brave and hardworking first black TV reporter, Barbara Blake Hannah.
Barbara Blake Hannah. What a woman.
What a woman.
What a story.
What a story.
Thank you for sharing it with me.
Thank you.
I feel very like, even though there were some very like kind of sad moments and
Yeah.
there very low moments, I feel very like emboldened now. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, she was amazing and I'm glad I know like about her.
Definitely.
Oh, thank you. This is amazing.
It's so I just I was so happy to do this story because it was one of those that, and they're always like that when I get into it and I'm just like this is amazing, and like had I started the research earlier I would have sent her a tweet and just like tried to get in touch with her myself. I might still do. I'm gonna send this to her. If you're listening, Barbara, we fucking love you.
We love you. You're amazing.
Yeah, you're always welcome back to us, or maybe we'll come visit you in
Yeah.
Jamaica. It's a bit hotter over there.
The weather here is bad vibes.
It is very bad vibes. But honestly, yeah, it means so much, and it feels so lovely to have another guest. And welcome to Breaking Bad. Welcome to the family.
Thank you. It's lovely to be part of the family. I hope you have me again sometime.
Oh,
this is wicked.
absolutely. Thanks again, and as usual, you can find everything on our social medias. I'll be posting all the clips and the pictures, which is at Breaking Bard on Instagram, at Breaking Bard Pod on the Gmail, and at Breaking Bard _ on Twitter. Thank you, Kemi. Thank you, listeners, and I'll see you again next week. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye, darlings. Now that we're Breaking Bard.